So the lack of consistent, high-quality meetings is probably why you're feeling like your business is potentially drowning, right? And so in today's video, guys, I want to break down, and this is going to be super value-packed in this video. I want to break down how to build an ecosystem of nothing but qualified buyers. Okay, this is super important in today's marketplace and the landscape of just where everything is at in this just new age marketing space that we are working in and trying to scale, right? Odds are you have a proven offer, you've sold it before, you do good with referrals, like you have a good product. You just need to put your business and your offer and what you sell in front of more targeted buyers every single day so you can get on consistent meetings predictably. Okay? And so what this ecosystem will allow you to do that I'm going to go over just like it's a 7-step process that you need to implement. Now I'm going to go over all the bottlenecks you're going to address and what you need to do, like I said, step by step to get this thing up and running on your own and with some speed. Okay, everything I'm going over here today is exactly what we go over in our free personalized game plan we offer to every single person that books a call with us. Okay, and so what will come of this ecosystem of qualified buyers? Nothing but consistent, predictable meetings getting booked on your calendar on autopilot, right? Predictable revenue, right? Guys, we rolled into just a PR month. We're rolling into one now, as you guys can see over the last 4 weeks. We're collecting cash on all fronts. People are texting us, closing deals, and this is how it's supposed to be, right? Genuine scale and freedom needs to be created in the business. You are no longer on the low leverage activities. You have an ecosystem of consistent, high quality leads booking a call to talk to you. And they're serious buyers. Guys, that's what it is about. I've been traveling for at least 6 months out of this year. Went to Colombia, Tulum. Actually, I went to Colombia twice. Then went to Tulum. Been back and forth to Tampa all year, really up and down the whole East Coast. Went to the West for a bit. I've just been traveling, guys. And the team has been scaling predictably without me being the bottleneck at the top here. Right? Me and my business partner can actually work on things that move the business and get us the best results in the market with what we sell. Okay, guys? And again, just here are some common results from our game plan of people just genuinely changing the trajectory of their business by implementing simple levers based upon where they're at. Again, which is why we love to personalize every single game plan because everyone's in different spots, right? Everyone is genuinely in different spots that come in and talk to us. Okay, guys? And so as you already know, acquisitions is the hardest and yet the most important process to crack in all of business. Okay, guys? Like seriously, this is the mover that allows you to even move. The compound effect takes place as you're, closing deals and collecting cash. You're getting good results. The testimonies are rolling in and they're feeding back to the top of the funnel because you're getting good results in the market. Now people want to come by and because they know, like, and trust you guys. This is what this curation of this ecosystem is about. Okay? And again, like I said, I'm going to break down step by step here exactly what you guys need to implement. Okay? So you can collect cash predictably each and every single month. And so it doesn't feel like you're just running this hamster wheel and starting from zero, okay? And so let's break this down to its core. Again, guys, I hope you have a notebook. Pause this, rewatch it. This is going to be super value-packed. I want to break down the foundations of just a strong acquisition system at its core. And I hope this arises just a new light bulb clicks in your brain of whether something you're doing that you need to double down on or something that you're not doing that you need to implement. Okay, guys? And so what I want to do is talk about the difference between inbound versus outbound and how we can get them to blend just perfectly and create this ecosystem. Okay? So I want to go into just a lucid deep dive with you guys of our entire processes. Have this pop up here so you guys can get a good feel of just like, again, I want to hold nothing back of what it looks like at a high level, the curation of the inbound and outbound stuff. All right, guys? So let's start here, right? So as you guys know, there's two splits, inbound and outbound. Okay, and then now how do we blend them perfectly? Okay, well, first, we need to know what the fuck even is inbound and outbound, right? People have a good idea, but what really is it that is the most moving levers on each side of the table, right? Because some people think it's different things like emails, cold calls, right? DMs on the outbound side of stuff, which is completely correct. Inbound, what's that mean? Word of mouth, referrals, funnel opt-ins, people watching your content, things of that sort, okay? Now, on the outbound side of things, right? The best lever you guys can pull right now, full transparency, is targeted DMs. Targeted DMs, exactly to your people that already know, like, and trust you, and you know they need what you have to offer, and you just run them through a high-performing setting process. Again, I'm going to go through every step of that process here shortly, but this is what the outbound kind of systems look like, right? You got DMs, emails, and cold calls. Cold calls is slept on. It sucks, but they do work extremely well, especially when you have a targeted leads list, right? Again, if you can contact people that you know fit within your target audience every single day, right? That's like the Hermazi 100 method, right? Do 100, DMs, cold calls, ads, all of that stuff. Have these different acquisition levers up and running at a high level so you have predictable, consistent meetings being booked from multiple acquisition levers and from different arenas, right? Again, feeding this ecosystem, all right? And guys, I want you to understand something. I'm not just yapping here. These are the same systems that have not only scaled us, but are scaling all of our clients right now. And they're all booking over 15 calls a week of qualified people. Seriously, guys. And it's putting them on track to go well past $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a month, right? They're all in different spots. Some are scaling a team harder than others. Some are ramping ads harder than others. Again, it's a part of that personalized process that we're going to dial in for you, right? And again, if you're already 7 minutes into this and you want to book a call and just get right to it, don't waste any time, go ahead and comment or DM game plan in our IG or just text us on IG. We'll shoot you over the link and go ahead and hop on a call. All right? Now, on the inbound side of things, this can be a bit more intricate, right? Of course, you guys have probably already scaled with referrals to get off the ground. You have a funnel. You get some opt-ins, but either they're low-hanging fruit or they're just like low-quality leads just in general kind of opting in, right? We need to change that. Okay? Now, to stay on this inbound and outbound kick before I go just a level deeper about how we can change that and push you upstream, right? You got long-form content and you got short-form content. Very easy as far as content assets, right? I'm not going over anything complicated. Long-form, we got YouTube. That works extremely well in this marketplace today because people need to come, know, like, and trust you. You got lifestyle content and you got value content. That's really the only two splits in the funnel as far as YouTube goes, right? Lifestyle attracts broader market. People maybe a bit adjacent from the niche, but it builds brand awareness, relatability, trust, shows real life impact, and positions you as an authority in the space, right? Value educates your viewers, right? And so off of this is where you have usually the free resources and lead magnets, where you're doing actual walkthroughs, frameworks and strategies, how-to guides. This creates clarity for your audience and solves a big pain, right? This is like the self-selling and qualifying mechanism needed for people to genuinely opt in, right? And the call to actions across all content should be the same. It should be comment, X kind of keyword. And then from there, you just go into the DM set process, right? Add these people coming inbound, okay? As far as short form content goes, right? So this is usually going to be Meta and TikTok, platforms like that. LinkedIn is working really well right now. I need to update LinkedIn SOPs on this. But LinkedIn, honestly, same format. They rolled out a Reels section. It's performing really well, especially in the B2B market right now, okay? You got clips. They boost the algorithm. We suggest at least one per day. That way you're getting up, that 5 to 7, consistent videos per week. Then you have the top of mind awareness here. And as well, as far as like short form content, you got the neuromarketing method that just performs extremely well. right? So outside of the reels and the things you'll be posting across the social media platforms, but the high-performing story posts that you see a lot of these top creators doing that you might not even be noticing, right? We call it the neural marketing method. There's about 5 different splits you could go after, right? You could do feedback. These feedback loops allow you to, like from Q&A polls, these allow you to collect data and market research, right? You got lifestyle posts, right? This positions the dream situation, curiosity, builds credibility, right? You got announcements for people for new launches, slots opening, main benefits, right? This will just help increase the conversion rates and opt-ins of people that follow you and just need that little push over the edge, right? Again, everything I'm diving into here today is about the curation of this ecosystem of how we can not only push qualified people to your profile, but get them to convert. That way, again, this ecosystem is getting created inside of your business without you and without us, right? It's about having real operating procedures that do this stuff for you, okay? You got free value, that's like lead mag opt-ins, and then social proof, right? Just constant reminders and credibility of your target audience's desired result. That is everything, right? And so I want to run you through kind of one of the high-performing ones we ran just for our clients recently, actually, right? So engaging, right? Lifestyle, the truth. They click, right? Okay, it's like the truth. Curiosity driven. Then they click. I remember when I couldn't even buy a plane ticket without stressing. Once you understand how to play their game, everything changes. Results, right? So credibility driven. They're building trust and you're getting them little push over the edge. Now I'm helping 4 more people this month go from 500 to 700 plus in less than 30 days. So this is a credit repair and business funding offer. We're trying to push out the little bit of credit repair people that are in his audience. So we ran these and did just that, right? DM me and only swipe up if you're ready for change, right? So build a bit of urgency in there. And then you're running them through just a high-performing setting process on the inbound side of things, right? But again, where this gets special is when outbound is going to targeted leads, whether that's emails, calls, DMs, and you're pushing them back into the funnel, right? And then all we're doing from there is just hitting and tracking KPIs. People are opting in. People are getting hit with the long form and the short form. And they're going through the next steps of the processes, right? From the high-performing setting process to hopping on these sales calls, right? And, if they don't book and they're in the re-nurture process, I'm even going to go through the bottlenecks that come from this ecosystem. Like I said, I'm going to hold nothing back, all right? And guys, so what I'm talking about right now, just outbound books us over 12 calls a week. So that's outside of inbound and the ads we're running right now. Our ads are printing. Not only for us, but for our clients. Because when this is done correctly, you can create this feedback loop that scaling ads, getting closes, talking exactly to your audience becomes seamless. Okay? And this is what it is about, especially if you want to go to $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 a month in this space. Okay? On the ad side of things, so this is outbound as well. You got direct and indirect. Okay? Now, ads are going to push people back inbound. Same thing with the outbound stuff, right? And so if you're doing these processes correctly, indirect and indirect ads, we break down what each of them look like. Direct ads, so you guys know, is where you're collecting info, right? Super easy. This is just going to be the lead ad, just kind of formula, headline, right? The X steps I took to scale my client's agency from X to X in certain time. That works well. That's super common. We have different frameworks and scripts we use, right? As you can see here, we have all of our ad SOPs dialed from indirect, direct, to the ad creation, from creatives, copy, and the complete ad build, right? Again, if you guys go ahead and book in a call, we'll dive into what actually will work for you in your business because everyone is different, right? But just so you guys know, as you can see, this company right here, they were running the direct strategy where up front, they were getting one website purchase for 272 euros. This is a company out of Norway. And we came in, optimized, the Netherlands. I always say Norway. I don't know why I do that. It's like a running joke in our company. It's the Netherlands, our boys from the Netherlands. Shout out to them. They're on motion. we came in and they generated 184 leads with the same cost, but now for only $1.16 per Facebook lead, right? And so all we did was optimize a few things. They did a bunch of testing for us already. And now all we did was optimize for the quality and consistency of the meetings coming in, right? So now we're averaging around $5 cost per lead, and they generated over 200 leads that month, which is just insane, guys. Insane. Okay? And so I hope that's a good overview of just the inbound and the outbound just breakdown from a foundational standpoint of what it looks like from the different acquisition levers you honestly need inside of your business to get this thing up and running and just cooking. All right? And so let me minimize my face here. What are the core drivers that are going to help you go upstream fast in this market, get consistent quality meetings fast, and remove yourself from all low leverage activities? Okay? Right here are the exact 7 steps. And guys, I'm not lying. This is literally the step-by-step process we go through as far upon implementation of our systems, right? Like, our whole thing is we're going to give you the systems needed for you to genuinely scale. Simple as that, black and white, okay? Some people already have a team in place. They just need the proper systems and operating procedures. Some other people are in different foundational spots where they need A players and things of that sort. I'm going to break all of that down, okay? And so the first thing you need to start with is just your marketing message. Straight up, if you want to go upstream, we have to reverse engineer your marketing message. And like, what is your USP? What is your unique selling proposition that's going to stand you out in the marketplace? Okay, I'm getting on around like 7 to 8 sales calls a day. It's been amazing. I love the scale in which we're at, and we're about to start scaling another closer because we don't want to slow down at all, right? And everyone I'm getting on calls with have honestly been within this credit repair and business funding space, because we really like that niche, and it's so easy to push you guys just upstream right now, right? But everyone's getting on, and yes, your solution can work across multiple niches for a lot of people. But if you're not talking to a specific person, I'm sorry, you're going to continue to get low-hanging, low-quality, just leads coming into the pipeline and opting in, because your unique selling proposition, your marketing message is not strong enough, okay? So we have to dial that in at its core, come up with a really strong one-liner that's going to position you differently in the marketplace than everyone else within those niches, right? That way you have your own, you can create your own ecosystem. That's what it's about, right? We don't need to be subject to politics and what's going on in the world. You have the ability right now in this new age space to create your own ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? People are doing in your space over $100,000 a month. There's no reason you shouldn't be either. Straight up. So let's dial in your marketing message, okay? Number 2, the biggest problem that's stopping you guys from going upstream is lead quality, okay? Maybe you are getting a bunch of opt-ins. You're getting on a bunch of sales calls, but it's a bunch of tire kickers opting in, and maybe you've had to even roll out a low-ticket offer now to just like not let these people just get through the crack without at least collecting a little bit of cash, right? That's not what you need. You need people that are qualified to buy your high ticket offer so you can actually scale. Simple as that. Simple as that, guys. Okay? And so some simple tweaks to just improve lead quality that I'm seeing, I thought was common knowledge, but simple tweaks to improve lead quality. Okay, 1, like I was talking about, retargeting of your ICP. Okay, guys, I heard this podcast the other day and it really clicked for me. Like, speak to your ideal person, okay? Even though the leads that are coming in right now aren't potentially your ideal client, and if they are, perfect. You're in a great spot. You're further along than most, okay? But if you want to go upstream, you need to do retargeting in your messaging to your ICP. Talk to the exact person you want. Know their main movers, right? What are their main pain points? Like, who are they, right? Are they a certain business where that's been in business for a certain amount of years and has a certain amount of capital? Speak to those people, not the low-hanging fruit, okay? Position yourself upstream, okay? a refined qualification process. Now, what that looks like, okay, everyone has different qualifications for what a targeted lead looks like to them, genuinely, okay? For us, it's, a proven offer. You're already doing at least 5 to 10K a month, okay? You know you need systems to scale. You've probably tried ads. You've probably tried scaling a team of VAs or setters, and nothing's really stuck. It feels like you're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks, and you've burned a bunch of cash. That's our ICP. And if you fit into that box, again, go ahead and book a game plan call, because we've got the systems for you to where literally you will never have to buy another fucking marketing company or outsource anybody ever again. Straight up. Okay? And I'm going to dive into the exact processes you guys can continue to implement to do this by yourself, right? But if you want to move with speed, get everything up within the next 24, 48 hours. I'll go over that at the very end. All right. And then manual questions prospects have to answer. So this goes in a tangent with the refined qualification process. So like even on Calendly, people just have a booking link up. Ask questions to these people that are booking calls with you so you know and can dig out a little bit of pain before they get on these sales calls, right? So on these Calendlys, you can have questions that are like fill in the blank or like manual entry. Do manual entries and insert qualifications for your exact audience. Ask them a little tougher questions, right? So they are like literally typing out pain points, right? Implement a warm dial. Guys, this is so I don't know why more people don't do this. Seriously, right? Manually call these people before they get on a call and let them know that you just want to gather more info before the sales call so you can dive in a level deeper. And then pull out the pain of where these people are at on this warm dial, okay? This will improve your lead quality because now you know whether or not you're getting on the phone with tire kickers or not. Straight up. And if it's someone that you already know is unqualified and probably can't buy, you can go ahead and position yourself in the conversation for a downsell and your low ticket offer, right? It completely changes your frame. So implement these just simple tweaks. This will affect your lead quality, I promise, okay? Now, one thing cool here we do at Solna is we give every single partner access to our software, okay? As you can see here, there's hundreds of targeted leads going on, and here, I'm gonna play it again. Hundreds and thousands of targeted leads, people that have a certain name in their bio. It's not gonna stop, is it? Certain name in their bio, right? And fit the actual qualifications of your exact ICP. So when we do launch the outbound and the inbound stuff, we know for a fact that every single message is going to someone that can not only afford your offer, but is qualified to come and talk to you and join your ecosystem. That is huge. Okay, guys, that is huge. That way you're not buying fucking stepped on leads lists. You're trying to, maybe run ads and just a bunch of low-hanging fruits coming in. No, we got to curate, again, operating procedures around each of these levers so lead quality can go up and we can go ahead and position you upstream. When we dial in your marketing message and your USP, we can now refine and launch our software, which is just a lead enrichment process that spits us out nothing but your exact targeted leads, okay? And it's a testament to why we are getting some of the best results genuinely in the market with the implementation of our systems. Straight up, okay? And then the next lever needed for you guys to really scale this thing is systems. I've been harping on it. As you can see, systems are the core of everything. So for us, these systems are given to all of our partners upon implementation. Okay, you run through onboarding and it spits you out a complete back-end infrastructure. But guys, these systems are everything you need noted for your business on the back end so you can scale straight up just seamlessly, right? And really turn this ecosystem and your business into a cash cow, okay? And so you need to have your offer and ICP dialed in one spot. This is my core offer, this is my ideal customer profile, this is my backstory, and this is my branding, right? So you know exactly, not only this sounds crazy, but who you are, right? And who your brand is, who you want to talk to, right? And this goes right in line with that, like step one. Let's dial in this marketing message. If you guys have your offer and ICP and all of that together and in congruence, this will help you do all of that, right? And so make sure you have these systems in place and in order, right? Have SOPs, standard operating procedures for everything, down to the ads, from your hooks to the qualifications, to the winning ads, to your appointment setters, their scripts, their structures, the setter process, the KPI tracking, their important links they need, like the booking links, things of that nature. Have all of these systems in one place so these A players know, these A players, VAs, even yourself, know exactly a process you need to follow so you book consistent, high quality meetings without thinking too much, right? Like real operating procedures for your business. This is how you take off, okay? And real outbound procedures, right? So the outbound and inbound stuff, have operating procedures for everything, the targeted leads to the outreach to, buying proxies to the account logins to just scaling more accounts if that's the way you want to go, right? And even a spot for the sales closers, their scripts, how they're receiving payment, everything, right? Again, this backend infrastructure is provided to all of our clients upon implementation because these are the core systems you need genuinely to scale. Bring on talent, delegate it, throw fuel in the fire, build operating procedures, and build a real process that's going to take you to your goals. All right, guys. And then number 4, a high-performing setting process. This is so slept on, okay? So a lot of people have run ads. They get people opting in from content, and yet they still will just text them just a lead magnet or send them the link to book a call. And I mean, they wonder why leads are getting on. It's taking you, an hour and a half to actually dig and get pain points and, talk to these leads, and they're getting on and they're unqualified and all of this stuff, right? You need a high-performing setting process, implement it in for all the traction that is going to get brought to you from this ecosystem, and honestly probably from some of the stuff that's going on right now inside of your business, right? It's probably one of the main bottlenecks. Okay, you guys do get inbound, and you guys do close deals from, referrals and stuff like that. I'm not knocking it, right? But a part of the problem of you not getting consistent, predictable, high-quality meetings is the lack of the high-performing setting process. And so what's the outcome of a high-performing setting process? Pain is established. Urgency is actually built. That way you have nothing but serious buyers, right, getting on these calls, and you're able to weed them out through, the DMs or on the warm dials, right? These are all a part of the high-performing setting process, okay? We have to establish the pain, and we have to build urgency so people buy now, and we can kill all objections, right, through the high-performing setting process. Seriously. And so this is what it looks like for us inside of there. So in the back end of our systems, they have their DM scripts and structures. We got the inbound Instagram script, outbound Instagram script, cold, Instagram warm, lead magnet DM script, inbound ad scripts, right? Like everything needed, again, so we don't need to think. We can lean back on our processes that we know book calls consistently. Proven. Okay, guys? Lean back on what has worked. And if you haven't documented and tracked KPIs and documented what's actually worked, this is where we come in. We need to build operating procedures for your business so you guys can go collect cash extremely fast. All right? Number 5, the next most important lever, KPI tracking. This is so slept on in the market right now. Like, I know you guys know it's important to track KPIs, and it's a tedious little thing to do, but you have to do it, and you have to do it daily. You have to, straight up. You have to do it daily. I do it, my business partner does it, and all of our team does it. We have different KPIs we track at the top, and our setters, our A players track different KPIs on the bottom. That way we can address bottlenecks with speed and get everything continuously moving in the right direction, continuing to scale, going upstream, and again, feeding this ecosystem. All right, guys? And the simplest way we found, beginning and end of day form. This is what our beginning of day form looks like to all of our A players. They put in their name, the date, and just the fact that they're willing to go hit the targets. They know their daily targets, right? So some of these are different for, different offer owners because they have different metrics that need to be met every day, right? And then the end of day form, right? And so what's their role, their name, excuse me, and how many positive replies do they have? How many leads do they tag? How many game plan pushes sent? Content apps, assets, opt-ins, closing calls booked, right? Just fill this out. It's super simple. Doesn't take long. It takes 5 to 10 minutes at literally the start of the day and the end of the day, and it helps you just get in congruence. All we do is use Google Forms for this. It spits it out into an Excel. That Excel runs into just an N8N workflow where we run it through some chat stuff, and we have just a feedback loop getting created that I'm going to break down here shortly, right? But it's also something special we do here at Solna as far as implementation of systems, again, that are going to help you guys genuinely scale and turn your business into a cash cow. All right? Number 6, the feedback loop. And now I've been hinting at this, right? But the feedback loop comes after the KPI tracking, right? Now, what that feedback loop looks like. Okay, guys, get a good picture of this. You guys saw what all the levers do together. You got the outbound, the inbound, right? Now, when your outbound's going to nothing but targeted leads and they're clicking back on the profile and your content assets are aligned, what's going to happen? These people are going to come, know, like, and trust you. Click on the funnel. It's in congruence. And they're going to opt in, right? When you run ads right? Okay, now we're sending outbound messages to your targeted people and we're running ads. What's going to happen when they click on the profile, right? Watch the content and stuff like that. Now they're going to get hit with the ads. Now you're spending more time with your exact target audience, right? Now we can start creating a real feedback loop in a real ecosystem, right? Now, how do you create this feedback loop effectively? Okay, guys, on your sales calls, they need to be recorded. Whether you're taking them or you have your sales calls outsourced or you just have a closer inside your business, record them, okay? Use Fathom. It's free. It's a Google Chrome extension. It spits it out into like an AI summary, does everything for you, right? From this, we can start gathering intel on the winning angles and common objections, right? From the sales calls and the DMs, right? So Fathom will allow you to record all the sales calls, and then the KPI tracking will allow you to record like all like the common bottlenecks going on through the DMs coming from inbound and outbound stuff, right? Simple as that. Start creating this feedback loop. What's going on? What's winning? What's not, right? And what are the common objections? What's the common feedback, right? Because now what we're going to do, whoop-de-doo, is turn these into assets, guys. This is the part where you curate the ecosystem, okay? So if we go over all the levers I mentioned, right, from a high-performing setting process to the inbound and outbound stuff, okay, to going upstream with your marketing message, building a USP, right, and you are able to dial in the exact person you want coming in, and you know their common objections because we're starting to track that. We use a high-performing setting process. So we're digging out pain. We're building urgency. There's people to get on sales calls with you, right? We can now turn these into assets, okay? Like based on the common objections and the winning stuff you're seeing, roll that out into new content, into winning hooks for ads, into the common objections you're seeing that can now get surfaced in your content. That way, when they come on these sales calls, they've already overcome all the hurdles that your exact target audience is doing. It's how you turn people into qualified warm buyers consistently and predictably, guys. I hope that makes like a lot of sense. Just turn everything we just talked about now into assets, right? That is what each step of this process builds you up to. That way it funnels the ecosystem. Okay, guys? Because a consumer in this new age marketing space today needs to engage with a brand for more than 4 hours, a minimum of 8 touch points, and see you across the platforms at least 4 times. You can look this up. This is like scientifically proven now, right? You need, like, it takes longer to nurture these people, especially on like social media and scaling a high ticket offer. And if you want to do this at a high level and you want to do over 100K in this new age marketing space, this is what it looks like in the curation of this ecosystem, right? And so here's a little bonus for you guys and something you guys can do, especially if you're using Fathom. After every 5 sales calls, do this right here. Start a chat, because in chat you can have different chats, right? And different like subjects and folders and stuff. Start a chat designed for this exact feedback loop. Plug in everything about your business and be like, hey chat, I want you to create a feedback loop of my last 5 sales calls and note the most common objections my audience is giving me. List them from most common to not, as well as turn them into hooks I can use for my content based upon my business and offer. And then you're going to insert your Fathom recordings into there, download the transcripts, or insert the link if you have the ChatGPT Plus, and it'll run through it and spit it back out in literally seconds. And this is huge for going into that feedback loop, because now, guys, you guys can start building content assets aligned, right? We can dial in, winning opening messages. Like everything comes back to this feedback loop that feeds the ecosystem and pushes you gradually upstream. Okay, guys? And what's the results of this? Again, consistent booked meetings, predictably, and with extremely high quality, right? Because again, if we know your exact ICP of those upstream people, we're talking to them, everything's in congruence. It pushes you upstream. Now, I don't know if it's going to let me click on this link. It does. But if you guys haven't seen this, it's saltanddigital.com/funding. We have all of our results on here from just this entire blueprint of the ecosystem and the game plan of people that have implemented this and gone off to just genuinely scale, right? So take a look at this if you haven't. And let me get back to presenting here. And yeah, that is going to be the result of the systems. And so now we can say that if you implement all of those procedures right there, you are foundationally solid. Okay? Now, how do you scale? How do you scale that? How do you actually scale that, right? Good question. We need to delegate, okay? You should not be the one tracking how many messages you sent out every day, how many positive replies you had, how many people booked, right? How many people converted from ads, how many warm dials did you do? Unless you're doing the warm dials, you do need to track that yourself. But we need to delegate, right? Because as you can see, there's a lot to start implementing at its core for proper operating procedures needed for you guys to scale. Genuinely, okay? So we need to delegate, and we need to do it fast with A players that are going to come on completely in-house inside of your business, right? That know that they have the opportunity to, 1, scale within your company, and 2, you need to build loyal people, right? So give them a real incentive plan to come on board and help curate everything at its core and scale, right? Like that is what it's about with delegation. For us, we have a network of A players, right? We run them through. We put them onto our offer first and see if they show up and perform and do all of these systems we just talked about as far as tracking their KPIs, helping build the feedback loop, everything. And now we have a network of just A players that are getting plugged in to all these offers and performing at an extremely high level, right? So pull A players from a vetted network, right? That is going to be the best way for you to delegate. If not, use Fiverr, Upwork, Rep Select, people like that. Go into these groups that have these setters and VAs and drop your offer in there and people will reach out to you. It's literally as simple as that. It's how we get people over to us, okay? Rep Select is pretty good as well. I think I said that one, but I think that's the best one is what I meant to say. And the outcome, now you got the high quality meetings getting booked, but on autopilot, right? It's how I was able to travel. It's how I was able to just continue to scale the business and work on the business and not in it. Same with my business partner, right? And I'll say all of our A players fucking love it. They love working with us. They love it because their jobs are simple. Their procedures, they know what they're doing every day. They have all their scripts. They have everything in one place. And there's no confusion. And we can address bottlenecks extremely fast, and it helps everyone. If we can collect cash at the top, that means all of our A players are getting paid, right? And that's what we're all here for. That's what we're all here for, right? And so they're going nowhere. I can genuinely say we have some of the most loyal people within our network, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that for sure. Like, I would die for my boys as well, right? And so, okay, after you delegate, this is probably unknown territory. What new bottlenecks will arise? Okay, well, here they are. We're going to need a re-nurture, okay? So an influx of leads are about to come in, okay? You're about to launch all these different acquisition levers. You have everything in place. You probably already maybe scaled ads. You got the outbound and inbound stuff going on. Okay, we need to do a proper re-nurture. Like, we need to build real re-nurture operating procedures, okay? What that looks like. So a proper follow-up process on these new influx of leads. So a contact plan and a to-do list for all of these leads so no one falls off, right? That's a big thing. People that we talk to are running ads at an extremely high level, like spending $1,000+ a day, and they're getting on a lot of sales calls. They scaled a team, a bunch of warm dialers, setters, closers, and the thing is, their re-nurture processes aren't in place. And that's why it feels like, the cost per lead is extremely high. It's not that profitable. It's a longer cash conversion cycle when we can implement processes and operating procedures to lower that, right? Like, how can we take someone like, okay, if it's a 2-call close, do we need to implement a 2-call close framework, right? And re-nurture, right? Between those calls, what assets do these people need to get as far as the contact plan goes so they stay extremely warm and hop on that second call ready to buy? Okay, after that second call, if they don't buy, what happens? What are the nurture processes and touch points and assets and the to-do list for these people so they don't just drop off and, you got all these leads in different areas and you don't know where everyone's at? You need operating procedures and systems for that, right? Guys, this, as you can see, like, it gets intricate when you really break it down at its core, right? But it is what is needed and what these top people are doing that are doing well over 100K a month. Okay, guys? Ad optimization, right? So this will never stop, but it will become a bottleneck, right? Where it will have to be a consistent refinement for the highest quality and the lowest cost per lead in the market. The market is changing extremely fast. Facebook rolled out new operating procedures recently, right? Where they changed, it's all about the detailed targeting now in like the hooks in the first 5 seconds because attention spans have changed. So where it used to be about, the CTA, now it's really about the hook and the creatives and the messaging and the detailed targeting, right? Like, all that stuff has to be extremely dialed, right? And so ad optimization will be a bottleneck you'll have to address. Again, if you book in that game plan with us, we'll go over everything needed to address exactly where you're at, because maybe that is your bottleneck already, right? Team management. So if you haven't managed a team, managing a team could be a potential bottleneck that could arise because you're going to need to hold accountability and you're going to be addressing KPIs. Okay, again, upon implementation, we give you guys everything needed to, 1, overcome all of these bottlenecks, and then 2, so they never even arrive in the first place. Everything is just a perfect seamless scale of you just collecting cash, putting it back in, scaling ads, rolling out the right content assets, scaling a team, and just printing, right? Like, that's what it's all about, right? As you can see in the doc, we give to people, we break down everything from team management to the processes to what it looks like for the teams as far as it goes. They need how to lead source, how to lead mark, how to do everything, right? The curation of all these operating procedures is a bottleneck as well, which is what I'm getting at, if you can see at its core, right? And then the content scale. It's like, okay, you got the feedback loop going, but now how do you actually curate targeted assets, right? Do you run on the inbound strategy, right? There's 3 different really frameworks you could go after: the curiosity-driven, credibility-driven, or engagement-driven, right? And then the story framework. How do you actually post those engaging stories? And when do you use the curiosity-driven or the credibility-driven or engagement-driven frameworks? When and why, right? That's important info to know. And so if you don't know that, that can become a bottleneck at scale as well, right? And so, guys, I hope this was extremely valuable to you guys. okay? And again, this is everything we dive into on our free personalized game plan. So if you want a deep dive of the exact systems you guys need to implement now to really go off and like take this thing to where you want to go, and you want to get the same results that people are getting that are hopping on this game plan with us, that are just rolling and collecting cash. As you can see, we even started a Solana social proof. You can go watch testimonies of people who ran through this game plan, right? Go ahead and comment or DM game plan down below. We'll show you the exact systems you need to implement today, okay? And if you guys want to just go ahead and start scaling with speed, we'll talk about what implementation of everything I talked about now looks like. Okay, guys, we'll get you over access to that B2B software. We'll get you all those operating procedures and back-end infrastructure in place within the first 24 to 48 hours. We'll get you over an A player if that's needed. It's kind of one of our bonuses we have within our network. And again, everyone's in different spots. If you're having struggles with ads and you're capped on ad spend, book a call. All right, if you're having just shit meetings come in and lead quality is just like ass, book a call. Seriously, I want to show you how we can solve all of those problems, give you a free personalized game plan. And like I said, if implementation makes sense, we'll talk about what that looks like for you. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. And if you've stuck around to the end, go ahead and check out more of the YouTube videos. We got sauce on here, if you can't tell. We got sauce. All right, the boys are cooking. We're collecting cash on our side. We're booking out hella calls. And yeah, let's stay at it. And we'll see you at the top. Peace. Instagram, Solana Digital. YouTube right here. Ciao.